In this video, I am going to explain what are the steps to build an online business. Hi, my name is Peter and welcome to the Hidden Online Living channel. And my aim is to provide you with the helpful information that you need to build your online business to help you create the quality of life that is more suited to your aspirations and goals. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, be made aware of future content, as I will be providing videos based around various topics that will help you grow both in your online business and as an entrepreneur. Also, make sure to check out the first link in the description for a simple and effective step-by-step blueprint that I use to build my own online business. It will also help you get started on your journey. So we've all essentially been now daydreaming most days, essentially about wanting to make that much needed change in our lives, to be able to quit our 9-to-5 jobs that we're not happy in and try to figure out some way that we can create something for ourselves, that we can potentially work for ourselves on our own terms. But again, more often than not, we actually have absolutely no idea where to start. So what are the steps to build an online business, you ask? Well, hopefully here in this video, I will provide you with the helpful information and tips to give you a clearer understanding of what essentially is needed to build an online business from scratch for a beginner. So it all starts with an idea. Having a really good idea will actually help you to build a solid foundation structure, so that it will help you to move one step further to actually getting started and creating a business for yourself. It's good to take the time out to actually research potential ideas, niches or topics that we're interested in, essentially that can give us a bit of inspiration to try and help us get started in the right direction. Now, in saying that, we don't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to our ideas. The key thing to take note is, when we do come up with an idea, pick something that has relatively been worked on before by somebody else that is successful and put your own spin on it. But the main thing is that when you do pick an idea, make sure that you pick one that you have some knowledge about but you are very passionate about. That way it's easy for you to explain your ideas, provide your information, your views on the topic, and people in turn will eventually relate to you a lot sooner, because they can clearly see your enthusiasm for the topic at hand. Also, a common misconception that most people actually face when starting an online business, myself included, I fell into this trap for starting out. I tried loads of different ideas, not really sure where to start. I knew I wanted to do something, but I wasn't really sure, so I just dived in and tried a load of different things, but more often than not, you fail miserably. But on the good side of that is, from all those failures, there was a lot of positives, because you learned what not to do. And essentially, everybody's going to have to put themselves through that discomfort of figuring these things out for themselves, eventually, to find that one thing that will actually help them move forward. So if you're coming into this with the sole intention to just make money first and foremost, then it's not the right avenue for you. Like myself, I made the same mistake. When you're coming into this, you need to not think of the money straight away. Once you start building the foundations and once you build a following and get leverage, the money will come in time. But the key thing that you need to do and focus on straight away is provide as much value as possible. Going back to your initial key ideas and something that you're passionate about, when you're talking to people and providing that information, that's where you're going to provide your value. And providing that value will draw more followers in over time. And eventually then, once they begin to trust you, then it can lead hopefully to sales or commissions later down the line. Another issue as well that you need to be aware of as well, again like myself, is that when we're starting out, we never think long term. We always only think short term, because we're just looking for a quick fix. We're just looking to get something started quick and easy that will get us what we need. But the truth is that does not work. There is no push button software that's going to make us instant millionaires overnight. It doesn't exist. It really doesn't exist. I've had to find out the hard way, like many of you have to out there as well. And that's why I'm providing videos like this, to actually inform you and to make you aware of the potential issues that's out there, and so that you can avoid the common mistakes and pitfalls that I went through, so that you can actually get running and up and going a lot faster. So what you actually need to do is you need to think long term, not short term, when it comes to building a business. Because remember, when you're thinking long term, you need to see yourself where you're going to be in 6 months' time, where you're going to be in 12 months' time, even 5 years down the road, because you're going to keep building on this. And as long as you stay passionate and focused and consistent on what you're trying to do and trying to achieve, you will see that picture further down the line. because you will be that passionate and driven by what you're doing, it will drive you to keep going forward. And you'll always want to keep providing that value to your users, because they're going to keep coming to you for information. People are always going to be asking you questions because they know that you have the information that they're looking for. And essentially that's what you want to provide and give. Essentially what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to be willing to use up some of your own time, even invest a little upfront cost to invest in software and to help yourself grow if you want to get started with creating your own business. Don't expect to see results straight away, because if you think like that, you will lose sight of what you're trying to provide in the first place. Just know that it's not going to happen overnight, but if you keep working and keep consistent with what you're trying to do, you will start to see results in the future. But in that time, essentially when you're not actually making money, you're growing as a person, both as an entrepreneur, your business is actually growing. Whether you actually see it or not, it's actually growing as long as you keep putting in the work, showing up every day. And even on days where you don't feel like you want to do much, just get up and do something. Always ask yourself, what can I actually do today that will help me to move that wee bit further? How can I leverage what I have to move that wee bit or that step closer towards my goals? Remember that you're actually building a foundation or a framework that's actually going to benefit you for years to come. People are still going to be coming to you years after you've initially created your content, and it's still going to be usable even 3 or 4 years from now. Right, so the next thing is you've come up with your idea. You know exactly what you want to do. So how can you implement it? How can I actually get the content out there? Well, there are loads of different ways in which to do that. Mainly what a lot of people do is they'll set up what I done first off when I first got started, as I created an e-commerce store with Shopify. Now, I hadn't a clue what I was doing. Well, I had some clue, but because I had a little bit of background in web design, I could build basic websites, and I had a background in graphic design, so I had no problem designing graphics and stuff. But doing content writing and writing descriptions, I was relatively new to it, so I used that as a foundation to build my skills when it came to that. Now, the website flopped. It never made any sales, but the experience alone that I gained from it was invaluable to me, because I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you doing what I'm doing now had I not actually started that process in the first place. So always think of it that way. Every failure, there's always something positive to come from it. So now that you have your idea, what way do you want to present your information? Again, it can be an e-commerce store. You can use Shopify, there's WooCommerce, there's others. You can even set up a blog, either with WordPress, Wix. There's loads of different websites out there that will help you to build a structure to get your online business up and running. Or even if you don't fancy writing and you're more preferred to what I'm doing right now and doing video, give YouTube a shot. It's free to sign up. You can get a channel up and running very, very quickly. And it's just a case then of actually getting started, putting yourself on camera, getting out of your comfort zone, which is essentially what I'm doing. Because when I first started, I was terrified to get on camera. In some ways I still kind of am, but I'm not allowing that to stop me from doing what I want to do and what I think is worthwhile. So whichever format that you actually choose to display your content on, just know that you're going to have to put the work in to build everything up. It's going to take a little while to figure things out, but again, there's tutorials. My channel will provide you with tutorials also. There's always loads of different guides. You will always find pretty much what you're looking for, especially when you're not sure of something. The truth is that if you really want to do it, you will find a way to get it done. Regardless of your skill level, you will always figure out a way, or you'll be able to get in contact with someone that can actually steer you in the right direction. So obviously, if you're creating videos, you need a camera set up like what I have. You need some form of lighting, so at least that way then you look more presentable on screen. You can start off with an entry-level camera. It's similar to what I have here. It's just what I can afford at the moment until I can afford to get something better. But it does what it needs to do, which is all you need to start. Even your mobile phone is perfect. It's ideal to get started, or a webcam, or anything at all that will allow you to get your screen or your face on camera to get you started. And then the next thing obviously that you would need is obviously to get other bits and pieces, like say an SD card, because obviously you're going to need to place to store the video so that you can put them on your computer later. And then obviously then what you need to do is figure out a way to find out what type of software. You obviously do a bit of research, and you'll need to pick a video editing software. There's tons of them around on the internet, any amount of them. I'll leave links in the description for some of the ones that I actually use myself that have actually speed up my process greatly. And once you have all those things in place, then literally just go at it and just create videos. You will learn the steps as and when you come across issues, and you'll figure them out as you go along. That's literally the best way to get started. But even with a YouTube channel, essentially, if you don't or are not comfortable with being on camera, there is other ways to create videos. You can literally use screen recording software to capture what you're actually doing on your screen and explain what you're doing as you're doing it. I do that in a lot of my other videos as well. Or what you can do is slideshows and presentations. You can either use Microsoft PowerPoint, even use Google Sheets, and they are ideal for getting started. You can make up quick graphics and display all the text and information that you need in your videos. And again, like the screen recording software, you just talk and explain what you're doing on each slide, and then you can move on to the next. And it's fairly straightforward to set up. It just takes a little bit of time to put everything together so that you can get it ready for the video when you want to record it. But once you get yourself into a good routine, you'll figure out a good process that will actually help you to get your work done a lot faster over time. So obviously, if video isn't your thing, you can always go back to what I said earlier about websites and blogging. And WordPress is a content management system that I currently use because I've used it on and off for a little while, so I'm fairly familiar with it. And it is fairly straightforward to get websites up and running fairly quickly. You can use, there is other alternatives like free alternatives. They're okay for getting started with, especially when you're not really sure what you're doing. You can sign up to them and use them as kind of like a foundation to figure out how everything works. And eventually, as you grow, you will need to start thinking about different alternatives. Essentially, you need to when you can afford it, then you'll need to consider paid alternatives, because the free websites, they are very heavy on terms of their limitations and what type of content you can put on them, even in terms if you're promoting products and services through affiliate offers or services, which is what I do here on my videos and on my websites. The free resources don't really allow you to do that, and you can usually get penalized or your accounts can be shut down. So what you want to do is you want to figure out a way to find services that will remove those limitations altogether. So if you do have a budget, have a look around and see what services will be beneficial to you when you're looking to grow. There's any amount of them out there, and I'll leave a couple of links in the description of some of the services that I would highly recommend, that I actually do use myself, because they're quick and simple. There's no real hassle with them at all to get them up and running, especially when it comes to building a website. I currently actually use Bluehost for building my websites, and it's quick and easy. Once I signed up, I would buy the domains, which essentially what you would need to do is you need to buy a domain, then get a hosting provider, say Bluehost, or there's Namecheap, HostGator, GoDaddy, there's any amount of them. And essentially, you can literally install WordPress with one click of a button once you sign up. And you'll have a solid foundation of a website pretty much built in only a matter of a couple of minutes. And then it's a case then of just building it up yourself. And this is a good process and time to learn new and valuable skills that will essentially help you later on down the line. So essentially, when you're building up your website, you build it up in such a way that is suited to your initial interests, but in a way that looks suitable to you, but you know that your viewers can find the content easily that they're looking for. And you can do that in a number of different ways. You can download and install a very simple to use theme, add widgets to your site that will add different blocks of information, either be updated or the latest blog posts, set up content blocks that you can use to set up email sign up forms, even put advertisements on it. Whatever you decide to do, it's totally up to you. And again, also, the point to note is when you are putting these sites together, you have to make sure that you optimize them or work with them to make sure that they're going to be usable for mobile devices as well, because most of the content traffic that you're going to get to your sites is mainly going to be from people on their mobile phones and tablet devices. Right, so when you have your website or your YouTube channel initially set up and you've actually started creating the content that you want to work on, and you're just on the verge of putting it out there, the next thing you do essentially need will be some form of email autoresponder, because emails is still pretty much the best way to build up a targeted audience of followers that are highly likely to engage with you and maybe even potentially buy products and services that you recommend in the future. Again, like the free website alternatives, there is similar alternatives when it comes to email to set up. There's MailChimp, MailerLite, and there's a few others. They're great platforms to get started and to get you up and running, and they're simple enough to get your word out there. I essentially, when I first started doing my e-commerce store last year, I started using MailChimp, and I found MailChimp to be very, very good at getting things up and running fairly quickly. But the downside is, like a lot of these ones, they have heavy limitations also, because when I decided to move away from the e-commerce site and start going into doing what I'm doing now, MailChimp and those other services don't allow you to promote affiliate products. Your account will be banned or terminated completely if they see that you're actually trying to do that. They don't allow that at all. So again, you're going to need to figure out a way and find a service that is suitable for you and your needs. And if you do have a bit of a higher budget, I would recommend actually going for a paid service to actually get you up and running quickly. I currently use Aweber for my email marketing, and I find it very, very simple to use and straightforward. Plus, there's heaps of information around on the internet that if I'm stuck with something myself, that I can figure out what I need to do. And again, I'll leave a couple of links in the description with the Aweber and some of the other email autoresponders that I recommend also that will help you get up and running in your business. So the next thing, when you have all these essential pieces of the puzzle put together, the next thing you want to figure out is how can you capture email leads? How can you drive traffic to your website and to your offer? Well, essentially, YouTube is a great source because YouTube is the second highest ranked search engine on the planet, just behind Google. And people are always using YouTube to try and solve a problem or find a solution to something that they have an issue with. And essentially the same thing can be said even for blogs. People usually go to blog websites to find content that can help them figure out some sort of problem that they have an issue with. So you can, essentially what you can do is you can use social media, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and among others, that will all in some way help you to drive the traffic that you need to your sites and your offers, so that you essentially can build up an email list. Essentially though, just as a word of note as well, that if you are promoting affiliate products, to not to just go around copying and pasting your affiliate links to pretty much the pages on social media, because more than likely a lot of social media sites, example Facebook, they don't really like that. They want to keep people on the platform for as long as possible. So just putting direct affiliate links is definitely not a good idea. A way to work around this would be on your website platform that you have, whatever platform you've got, is to build separate pages on your website and build what's called a landing page or a bridge page, and use that to display more relative content to give potential buyers, a more incentivized outlook on what it is that they're looking for. And you can use the landing page to give your own individual opinion on it and how it's going to benefit them. And by doing this, you can actually put your affiliate link through that landing page. So that way then you won't get in trouble with social media profiles and so forth. So it kind of works around that. And again, it just looks more professional on your website. Also, when building a landing page, they can be pretty straightforward. They don't need a whole lot. But again, you'll need some sort of platform, like an add-on or something that you can use, say on WordPress, to be able to implement a landing page. Mainly, there's a lot of drag and drop page builders out there. One I highly recommend that I use myself is Tribe Architect. There is other ones, Elementor, and there's a few others as well, to name a few, that are really, really good to actually quickly build landing pages. And they are pretty much essential when you're trying to promote offers and so forth. Okay, so at this stage, you're probably wondering, have I done enough? I've done everything that needs to be done, or I think that needs to be done to get my business up and running and to get traffic through the doors pretty much. Hopefully to see something back, and you feel deflated with all the work, hours, months even that you've put in, and you see nothing. It's happened to me, and it's soul crushing. You feel like, what's the point? You're nearly on the verge of giving up. Well, there could be just a few simple things that you need to be aware of that you probably haven't been aware of even while creating all this stuff, that actually could make all the difference in creating your business. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, but I've done this and I've done that and I've done this and I've done that. Why am I not seeing the results? Why am I not getting the traffic? Or I am getting the traffic, but why is nobody willing to buy from me? The key thing really another thing to be aware of is a lot of the steps that people leave out. I've done this, I've been guilty of this myself when I first started too, is search engine optimization, which is SEO. And essentially it's using specific keywords that are tied in with your content, your articles, your YouTube videos, etc., that will help the videos to rank, because essentially you want to be able to put keywords in your content that relate to what people are searching for on the search engine. And this is a big thing, because by using keywords you can base your content around those keywords that can help provide the value to the user that are looking for what you have to offer. And so many people leave this out, and then they wonder why things aren't working the way they should be. But again, it takes a good while to build it up, because it's not an easy thing to learn. It's probably one of the more difficult things to learn, because it's trying to figure out how it works, what way you put the keywords into your articles, what way you present everything. It can leave you feeling very overwhelmed very quickly. But the really great thing about search engine optimization is when you do implement it, and implement it well, over time you will definitely start to see results. You won't see it straight away, but once it does start to work, you will see results. You'll be completely amazed by how quickly the results will start to snowball, to a point that the content that you'll be providing, people will be searching for similar topics, and what will happen is people will engage with your content more. And the best thing about SEO driven traffic is what's also known as organic traffic. It's more highly targeted, and that means that the people coming to your content is definitely more likely to engage and follow you as a content creator, and even purchase stuff that you recommend to them. They would sooner go to you than go to someone else once you've built up that level of trust with them. And by getting that organic traffic will definitely help you with that in a big way. Now again, there's other alternatives. Again, you can use organic traffic. It takes longer to build up, but it's more targeted over time. And essentially you still want to be doing that anyway, as you're doing other things, to have it working in the background. So eventually when it does start to take off, it essentially will. But you can also use paid ads. You can use like Google ads, Facebook ads. You can even do ads on Pinterest, Instagram, to help you gain a little bit of a quicker leverage to get viewers in front of your content a wee bit faster. It does work to some degree, but there are things you need to be aware of as well. That when you do set up your paid ads, you can lose a lot of money very quickly. I tried it when I was doing my e-commerce store, and I got a ton of traffic on my website, but the problem with it is a lot of the time the traffic is driven to your offers or your products or your services isn't always as targeted as you'd like it to be. And the people will actually go to it, but they're not really willing to look at what you have to offer, and they usually bounce fairly quickly. And what actually happens is you've wasted all that money and you've actually gained nothing back from it. So it has its good points and it has its bad points, but you just need to be aware of the two. Essentially what you can do is take the time to understand everything in your business, learn the steps, SEO, do everything that you need to do, and do it as well as you think you can possibly do it. And then when you've gained the confidence in yourself, when you know you're starting to see some sort of leverage on it, then maybe when you have a bit of a budget saved up, then you can look into doing paid ads. Another one of the final things to note as well is when you do have your content out there as well, make sure that you let your users know and ask them what they think of the content that you're providing them. And if they find it useful, always ask them to share it, either through a blog post or through Instagram or even through video as well. Because the more people see your content, the more it starts to snowball, because eventually with all the people seeing it, you will eventually get people that actually take an interest in what you are doing, and they will actually follow you. And again, that just works from interacting with people. Again, I've been learning the steps to do this for the last while, and essentially it'll work for you as well, but you've got to give it time. So the main takeaway from all this, even though it's been long-winded, is to just be patient, be consistent. You need to trust the process and the journey that you're on, and know that it's going to get you somewhere, and it will, as long as you keep going. Don't ever stop. That's the most important thing. So again, trust the process, trust the journey, and be passionate in what you do, and you will see that come back to you in the future. So that's it. Hopefully you found this video to be useful. If you have, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also turn on the notifications to be made aware of future content. Also, like I said, be sure to share the video, because the more people that see this, the more people like yourselves will eventually get some sort of feedback from it, and hopefully that it can teach them what they need to do to get going. Also, make sure to check out the first link in the description and the pinned comment for a simple and effective step-by-step blueprint that I currently use in my business to help grow my channel, and it will actually help you grow yours. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.